Hello everyone and welcome to the Captain's Video Weblog. We are Wednesday, March the 9th, 2016. I'm really tired, somehow. I managed to go from sleeping 4 hours to sleeping 6 hours. Turns out that sleeping 6 hours doesn't have great results. And you probably are thinking like, yeah, what about, but 2 hours, obviously that's not gonna make a huge difference. Honestly, it has the potential to. Um, what pissed me off about sleeping 6 hours was that, well, I fell asleep around 11 p.m. and I woke up at 5 a.m. Which means that I fell asleep at night, woke up at night. And really, tonight, it's almost 2 a.m. right now, so I'm gonna go to bed right after filming that. And I really mean that, if I don't sleep 8 hours, which means that if I wake up before 10 a.m., I swear to God, I'm gonna be so pissed that I'm actually going to do my darndest to fall asleep again and fuck everything if I have to wake up in the middle of the afternoon. At this point, I just want to sleep. And I'm probably thinking that I might be sick. I might have caught some kind of disease because I'm when I start to feel sleepy, suddenly there's this surge in me that makes me feel very cold, so that might be related. Yeah. What happened today is worthy of being talked about. Two things. I'm very, very, very pissed about football, and it might it might stem a bit from the fact that I'm hella tired and therefore hella more, how could I say that? Hella more sensitive, I would guess. It's also that it's frustrating. I mean, the first thing is Marseille's drew against the 18th team on the table. It wouldn't be that bad because it's an away game, so it's already not a loss. Wouldn't be that bad if, well, first we didn't have this dynamic of winning in away matches. Only one loss in the last 10 away matches. But it's also very frustrating because for most of the match, I mean, nothing makes you believe that the team's gonna win. Then they score, and you're like, well, that's good. But then, I mean, the coach just says fuck the midfield, and in the 10 minutes afterwards, bam, scored on, and that's a 1-1 draw that we have to keep, apparently, because when they score, suddenly they become so much more effective than us, and boy howdy. I mean, one thing that I've noticed is that the attacks of Marseille are, when they are in the offense, their phases are always so much of a clusterfuck, whereas the couple of occasions that the opposing team, the home team, got tonight, those were fairly, crystal clear. A couple of passes, cross, and a shot on target. I mean, that sounds fairly easy when you think about it. That looks very easy to do when you look at it, and somehow Marseille cannot grasp that thing because the attacks they do as a counter attack is just throw Enkudu on the on the line and just hope he can cross. Um, Obviously, not pretty much everyone is at fault, except the forwards who did what they had to do. You know, Fletcher did some calls. Nobody answered. Kabbalah scored a goal which was pretty good. Doesn't make up for the fact that at some moments he could have made passes a bit earlier. But yeah, Nkudu. I mean, at this point, everyone knows his trick. Who's on the left? I don't even know. I mean, that's always Manquillo who comes to. Oh, that's Cabela. Cabela always goes in. No, he wasn't on the left. Who was on the left? Well, shit, I don't remember. It might have been Cabela. I don't. Who was a winger? There was Manquillo, and then. Well, their performance didn't really stick. That's the least I can say. Then I want to say something. One of the most known supporters in the league, who is usually, throwing some witty words at the players and the away players and the away coaches. This time he probably went overboard when he mentioned the late mother of one player who died very recently. I mean, that player had to. I think I'm not sure, but I think he had to miss a match because of that, and to do disrespectful remarks about that isn't really cool. That's really a shitty move. So Benjamin Mendy, stay strong, man. You're one of the most promising players, the players with most potential to do great things. So don't go and get derailed by these kind of shitty attitudes. As Bielsa said, you've got a lot of talent. You gotta talk a bit more, and with talent comes a fair share of happiness that goes away, which is something very deep to say. When you're a football coach. So the second thing in football that pissed me off is Paris versus Chelsea. Paris qualified. I mean, it was pretty obvious that it was going to happen. I don't have any kind of affection for both teams. For neither team really, because Chelsea, I kind of hate them because until Arsenal started doing the same, they represented what I didn't like in football, when money becomes to be too important. That's really shitty. And then Paris started doing the same thing, but I hated Paris way before because that's kind of a societal thing. It's the thing of being French. You resent the capital as much as the capital resents the province. That's the whole thing about France. And one thing that I'm really gonna resent the capital for is when undoubtedly there's going to be that huge surge of the Seine River that's gonna just I don't have the word anymore because somehow it disappeared from the flood, because there's going to be a mega flood of the Seine River, and everything that's really important in the country, is in the region of Paris. So yeah, uh, it's all it's gonna take to paralyze the whole fucking country is a flood, not a war, not a siege, not terrorism, a fucking flood. A third of the most important um, economical. I don't have the word anymore, and that's gonna. That's not going. That's not getting back. Um, but a third of the economy basically is based around Paris. Everything that's the state is based in Paris. Thanks, Jacobins. You were the worst during the terror, and you're still the worst because you centralized the whole fucking thing. And I mean, it comes from a very important thought. Let's not do the same mistake as the king and forge what could be a revolution on the republic by leaving too many power to the different provinces. You know, that's their line of thought, and I can understand that. I mean, if the Estates General failed and the revolution came about, it's really because every province had a lot of autonomy, you know, and unlike Spain, they didn't get allied by marriages or by contracts. They got allied because the kingdom conquered them, you know. So yeah, I hated that Paris won, especially with the poor communication they did. They did apparently a Vine yesterday with Spot the Hero, which was apparently a Paris player because obviously. But then they did a Spot the Fraud with Diego Costa. And I mean, it would be all well if that were a fan account. That's kind of the thing they have to do, banter. But the official account, that community manager is getting sacked in the morning. Yeah. What else can I say? I mean, the only thing that Paris deserves right now is the Barca, because who else to stop them? I'm not hating their success. I'm just hating that they are the one with success. Even though I could be hating success, but that's a bit too French of me. So yeah, talking about French, being too French, there were going to be protests. Apparently, the closest protest to me this morning was basically a stand-in front of the office of our MP. It was under the rain, so I was like, I guess I'm not going. I mean, I'm okay about if it's about walking in the streets and spouting slogans, you know, I'm all about that. But standing and saying, hey, we're not about that, really, you know, we don't like this. And I mean, I really hate all the reformations going to be done to a very important text about labor, you know, because people are criticizing the fact that it's students that go in the streets, and it's students who aren't working yet, who seem to want to represent the opinion of the working class. And if the working class ain't gonna do it, I mean, it's not our fault. We are the ones who are going to be concerned with that law because we're not working yet. That's exactly because of that the students are in the streets. You know, that's kind of logical. But one article that pains me that if you're in university or something like that, you're already part of the establishment. No, I'm not part of the establishment. I mean, my parents are pretty much proles, so I would know if I were part of the establishment. Yeah, not a very productive day. I spent the whole, not the whole afternoon, but a good part of the afternoon and most of the evening reading a manga which is called Otaku no Musume-san, pretty much the daughter of the otaku, which kind of could remind you of Usagi Drop, you know, lone father has to raise up a girl, but he apparently has to raise her up for like a year, a time that her mother can pay off her debt. That's what I've understood. I'm currently at chapter 50, or out of 63 chapters, I think. I don't know that this is a finished story because, well, I mean, the last chapter was apparently in 2011, translated around 2013. So yeah, I can see that it was the end. Yeah, and I like when they're not rushing to do like 3 volumes like another story that I liked a lot. In the premise I liked it a lot, but the way the story was handled, I was like, well, are you sure you want to do that? Because that sounds really dumb. Which is Kagami no Kuni no Harusugawa, you know. It looked a lot like it could go so much further. The author had set up so much more, and then, oh, that's the end of volume 3. Here, have a half-baked resolve. Ha ha ha. Yeah, not convinced. I mean, one thing that I thought it was like, oh, it's 63 chapters. I will probably have finished most of it by the end of the afternoon. I will go ahead and work on the subtitles of my Portal 2 Let's Play that I still haven't finished. I mean the subtitles, not the Let's Play in itself. The Let's Play has been done for like 4 years. What are you talking about? Talking about things that have been done for about 4 years. The Prepa, which still seems to be my compass for evaluation, because last month, on the 1st of February, there was this exam that I took, and I was sure that I would have a shitty grade, like around 5, and I thought that I would be hella happy with a 7. I got a 14 out of 20, and I was like, how does that happen? Everyone else that I saw has got a 7, and say for a couple of cases of a 12 and a 17, and I'm like, I've written so much shit. How did I manage that? So yeah, I think it's probably thinking like, hey, they're probably still going to correct that as if I were in Prepa. In Prepa, that would have given me gotten me a 5, and I'm not saying that because it's 4 pages. It's literally because I struggled to reach the end of the 3rd page because I had literally nothing to talk about. I guess I can talk about nothing, bullshit my way through that kind of stuff with some verbosity, with the ability of a poet or whatever. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Well, I'll probably still be tired, I guess. Bye bye.